So I think I have like a really cool story of going from linear to, I have always used the word expansive but cyclical. Well, first of all, I only met Debbie, I think, not 46 weeks. I don't know if it was 4 or 6 weeks. And I came in and it was like the sun was out, and then I had a massage and we sat there talking. And then by the end, it was like pitch black. I turned on my phone. My husband's like, "Where are you?" And she's like, "Would you like to speak at my event?" And she told me all about it. And I don't know if you guys know Joseph Campbell, Follow Your Bliss, The Hero's Journey. But the last part of the hero's journey is when you go off on your adventure, you owe it to your community to share with them what you have learned. So part of me was like, no way. Like, I'm an introvert. I go to bed at 9. I'm like, and then I like watched myself saying, of course. I'm like, oh my God.
You said yes so quickly.
I know. I was like, really? So I had this linear life, which I was really happy. And I went to college. This is like what I was like showed that you do. You go to college, you have your career, you meet someone, you get married, you buy a house, you have kids. And I don't know, it all seemed good. And one day, no, it wasn't one day, it was a bunch of years I kept trying to avoid that voice. And I just knew that there was something else out there. And I knew that if I didn't follow that like, I always like, this might sound morbid, but I'd picture myself on my deathbed and like everybody would be like, oh, she was so nice and she had a great life. But I would know that I didn't have the courage to follow what was like knocking at the door, like knocking on my head or something. And so when I turned 50, and this is also to say that my life in menopause, just like, I cannot tell you how magical and amazing my life is. So I didn't know what I was going to do, but I discussed it with my husband. It was really good timing. The universe did this perfectly because he's a real estate developer, and we like figured out the money. And then I quit and the real estate market fell apart. And I'm like, oh, the universe really has my back because there's no way I would have quit. And I didn't know what I was going to do, and I just started meditating. I'm like, okay, maybe you do yoga. Everybody like does yoga. I was like, oh, I tried to be the perfect mom. That really went over. I volunteered, I swear to God. They yelled at me because I had the pizza box open too. Like, I was just like a disaster. And so I just had this moment, like I was like, I just have to find my way back to happy. And I just would rip things out of a magazine. I didn't know about Pinterest. I think maybe it was like around because when my nieces came for the holiday, like I had things scotch taped everywhere. Like my house was a vision board, and they're like, Auntie Ellen, like, haven't you heard of Pinterest? Clearly not. So I would just like see a color or a quote, and I would just put it up, and then in the morning I'd come out and be like depressed, and I don't know, like I would feel the energy shift. And then I saw this Laughing Monk statue, and I became obsessed, and I ordered them from catalog, but they weren't made right. Like their arms were attached to their statue, but I would dress them up. I'd put them everywhere. Like you'd pull into the garage and there'd be one in an outfit. Oh, I went to like this new Halloween store, and I walk in and they're like, how old are your kids? And I'm like, no, look at my statues. I swear to God. So you'd come up the stairs, and like there'd be one that was a chef, and it would have like what was for dinner, which by the way was either sushi or Chinese food. And they were just like everywhere, and I just had this idea. In meditation, I have to just share. The very first time I ever meditated, it was like I tried for 2 minutes. This red cardinal that we ended up naming Sparky, and even my family is like, Mom, Sparky. So my life just started becoming so magical and so much fun. So I would take pictures of these statues. I'd send them to my friends. I'd put quotes. I would duct tape affirmations and things on the statues. I was raised Jewish, even though I'm more spiritual. For Sabbath, I would have 2 statues on the porch. I'd have the yarmulke and the hair covering. I would have a wine, the mailman. I'm not kidding you. I would have them, and I was like, "Excuse me, could I take a picture of you giving?" And they were like, "Oh my God." But I was having so much fun, and I started getting my past lives done. I think I was telling Chris, and I was like, I'd come home and I'd honey, I was a princess in a past life, and you were my bodyguard, and my father wouldn't let me marry you. And then I'd start singing Whitney Houston, and my kids were like, Dad, is she okay? And all these men, male dog, all that, and then he's like, I don't know, but she seems happy. And so in meditation, the names, the Suburban Monk came to me, the name of my company. I love that name. It's because I can't give up my blowouts. I'll meditate, but don't make me wear Birkenstocks. Although I think they come they're fashionable now. I'm I'm gonna shave my legs. And so I had the name of the company, and then I was and I look back, I'm why did I think I could make a statue? I was a typical accountant. I'm a Virgo. I had Excel sheets with all the carpools, with what snack in case my husband had to drive. I was so anal, and now I'm going to make a statue. I never took an art class, and I knew I wanted. So that's Big Sid over there. By the way, he has a name. That's Sid. I'm his mama. I'll never be an empty nester because, Debbie was in my house the other day. She can, there's Sid is everywhere. Isn't it cute? I know. And I know, it's really cute, right? And so I just was yeah, but my statue, if you notice his arms don't touch his torso because I would dress them up, and it was really hard to dress up, all the statues. And then he has a little hole here so you can put a flag or a rose with the drain, and you could even put socks on him. I'm obsessed. I don't ask me about my kids, 2 seconds. Ask me about Sid, and I'm could go on forever. And then I was well, okay, how do you make a statue? And then I don't know, I used to run in Verona Park, and there was always this one part, and I'd get these downloads, and I was my son's best friend is just taking the summer off. So Jeff came over, and we'd sit at my dining room table, and I'm so how do I make a statue? And he's I don't know, Craigslist? And I, every step of the way, though, was so magical. So I think if I want you to take anything away tonight, I'm going to actually look at my notes. I had these notes, and the first page just said hi. I'm not kidding. And so the few things that I would want you to take away is that what I have learned is that joy is not a luxury, it's our responsibility. We need to be joyful and happy, and that's why we were born. You're never too old. A big one for me was also don't let logic get in the way. Seriously, my cousin, who were sisters, she's the doctor. When she heard I was quitting this respectable job to make statues, thumbs up statues, oh my God. And if I had listened to that logic, I never would have followed what made me happy, because our bodies know and our hearts know. And I also wrote down, but I don't like this anymore, that we all have a Sid inside of us, and it's different for everybody, and we're the only ones. Like, a good coach will make sure it comes from you, but nobody knows. Even though I still call all the psychics and all that, like I could go on and on. So, and then if they say something I don't like, I just don't believe them. But where's Aura? I'm sure you're great wherever you are. Oh, she went home? She went home? Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this quote, which I just love, by Howard Thurman. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. And go and do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Yes!